JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, brothers nabbed with firearm arrested. 2 brothers were arrested following the siege of a firearm in Thetford District, Old Harbour, St. Catherine yesterday. The police said that about 9:20 p.m., officers were on patrol in the area when they observed 2 men walking along the roadway, acting in a manner that arose their suspicion. The police said the men were accosted and searched, and one of them was found in possession of a Power Ordnance P12.45 pistol with an empty magazine. Their identities have been withheld pending further investigations. 62-year-old man charged with murder of 29-year-old girlfriend. 62-year-old Steneth Wilson, otherwise called Uncle, of Clarkstown in Trelawny, has been charged with the chopping death of his common-law wife at their home on Saturday, May 8. Wilson was charged with murder after he turned himself into the police and allegedly confessed to the crime. Police report are that about 11:30 p.m., Wilson and his spouse, 29-year-old Nikisha Keeling, otherwise called Gal Gal, got into an argument. The argument reportedly escalated into a fight, during which Wilson used a knife and a machete to inflict several wounds to the woman's body. Man on shooting charge after ID parade. A man pointed out on an identification parade has been arrested and charged in relation to a shooting incident in which an individual was pounced upon by 3 armed men in Goulburn District, Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew, on Sunday, February 14, 2021. Charged with shooting with intent and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition is 22-year-old Wavell Reed of Rose Hall District in Lawrence Tavern. According to police reports, the complainant was pounced upon by the 3 men who opened fire at him about 3:50 p.m. He, however, escaped unhurt. On Tuesday, April 20, the police said Reed was apprehended in Rose Hall District during an operation and placed on an identification parade on Friday, May 7, where was pointed out and subsequently charged. The other suspects are still being sought, the police said. Suspect nabbed in murder of 14-year-old girl. The police have arrested 1 man in connection with the murder of 14-year-old Denisha Cooper in her Naisbury Grove, St. Catherine community. The police said the suspect attacked Cooper with a knife and stabbed her several times in the upper body about 9 p.m. on Saturday. He attempted to escape and was reportedly intercepted by residents, and the police were called. He was subsequently apprehended. However, the police said his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Cooper was transported to hospital, where she was admitted in critical condition. She succumbed to her injuries about noon yesterday. Another police investigating fatal motor vehicle crash. The police are now investigating the circumstances which led to the death of 27-year-old Abigail Nagu following a motor vehicle collision on the Michael Money Boulevard in Hanover on Sunday. The police said that the driver of a Suzuki motor car was traveling along the Green Island Main Road in Hanover about 2:30 p.m. when he allegedly lost control of the motor vehicle, which collided with a Nissan motor car that was traveling in the opposite direction. Nagu, who was a passenger in the Suzuki motor car, sustained multiple injuries and was transported to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Both drivers and the passenger of the Nissan motor car were hospitalized for treatment. More dough for flour. Off the back of a February increase, Jamaicans will have to fork out more money for flour and flour-based products. The Jamaica Flour Mills announced on Sunday that flour prices will increase between 8 and 11%. The increase took effect yesterday. In February, the price of counter flour, the most widely used type in households, jumped by as much as 14%. High-gluten bakery flour climbed by almost 9%. The flour producer, in a newspaper advertisement, in seeking to explain the increase, said grain has been increased by unprecedented price spikes, with corn rising in excess of 46%. Soy, it said, increased by more than 18%. Wheat, which is used by Jamaica Flour Mills in all categories of flour, bakery mixes, and wheat byproducts, has increased by more than 28%. Jamaica Flour Mills also pointed to increases in oil prices, as well as the slippage of the Jamaican dollar as reasons for the increase. These costs are further affected locally by the decline in foreign exchange rates, which have moved by more than 5% since January to April of this year. In respect of the US dollar, as all imported inputs, raw materials, and freight are billed and payable in US dollars, the flour producer stated. The Consumer Affairs Commission published data on April 16, showing that 1 kg of counter flour was being sold for a high of $132 and as low as $92.40 across Trelawny and St. Thomas. In the corporate area, counter flour was being sold in supermarkets at a high of $128 per kilogram and a low of $85.14 per kilogram. Commish praises cops in apprehension of gunmen yesterday. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has praised the officers who responded to yesterday's swift operation to apprehend 3 gunmen after they killed a businessman on Hold Up Road in St. Andrew around midday. The men who tried to escape in a white Toyota Axiom motor car were intercepted at the Hope and Trafalgar Roads intersection and engaged the police in a shootout. 2 of the gunmen were killed. The police said another man who was also shot during the exchange escaped in the back of a van. The search for him continues. Commending the response team today, Anderson said the officers responded in a measured way. Really, our most important asset is our people, and the training we can give to those people, the confidence we can instill in them, and what we saw play out yesterday was a reflection of this. We had officers respond to a call, and they responded in a measured way from what I saw and reviewing the video. And there's a number of angles and footage that we're looking at, but at this point, from an initial review, the way the officers moved into position to stop the vehicle, although it was stopped in a line of traffic, to engage the vehicle or the people in the vehicle and get them to surrender themselves and to effect an arrest. They were positioned so that they could respond in the event that the gunmen opened fire. That's what happened, the police commissioner said. Of course, even though the car had been identified and we have cameras, we're tracking it. Those officers still have the responsibility to ensure that is the vehicle that actually is carrying the gunmen, so they can't be overly hasty in how they conduct themselves. They have to make sure, firstly, and then they have to give those persons an opportunity to surrender themselves, he continued. Anderson noted, however, that the gunmen opened fire, exposing several civilians on the busy street to danger. Once there's a firefight, there's always a risk to other people around. Fortunately, the way the officers were positioned and their response prevented civilians from either being injured or taken hostage in a situation like that, he praised. Having our officers return home to their families is significant in this. Every day our officers put themselves in harm's way to protect our public, and when they get home at night, having done that, having been in a firefight, having had to effect arrests on some dangerous people, we consider that a good thing, and certainly I wish to commend those officers, all of those officers involved. Commuters got sort of first-hand view of what we face, but that's not a good thing, I'd prefer if that didn't happen, but the reality is that we had to respond to an evolving situation. I think it perhaps gives persons an indication of the kind of danger that police officers put themselves in on a daily basis, Anderson said. Jamaica records 39 new COVID cases, 5 more deaths. Jamaica recorded 39 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday and 5 additional deaths, bringing pandemic totals to 46,821 confirmed cases and 814 deaths. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the 5 deaths include 2 that were previously under investigation, a 17-year-old girl and a 78-year-old man, both from Trelawny. The other deaths include 3 men, aged 60 and 75, both from Trelawny, and 62 from Kingston and St. Andrew. Of the 39 new cases, there were 23 females and 16 males, with ages ranging from 1 to 88 years. The cases were recorded in St. Anne 10, Kingston and St. Andrew 9, Westmoreland 7, St. Mary 6, St. Catherine 2, St. James 2, Manchester 2, and St. Thomas 1. The country also recorded 122 recoveries, bringing the total number to 22,517. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.